Hello everyone, this is Fine from Awesome Tech Gaming Pro. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the True TV, the left side Samsung Q80D and the right side Samsung Q70D. You clearly see this True TV. The Q80D, the center mounted stand is small, so the TV doesn't require a large desk or media center. There's some side-to-side wobbling and a fair amount of front-to-back wobbling, but it settles relatively quickly. The stand lifts the screen 3.1 inch above the surface of your table, so almost every soundbar fits in front of it without blocking the screen. On the other hand, the right side, the Samsung Q70D, which the center mounted stand is mostly made of plastic and feels a bit flimsy, but it does a good job of supporting the TV with minimal wobble. The stand lifts the TV about 3.19 inch, so most soundbars fit underneath without blocking the screen. The back panel is made of textured plastic with vertical etched lines on Samsung Q80D. There are grooves in the casing to help with cable management, which then get funneled into the stand. The stand has a removable cover that helps with hiding cables. The inputs are recessed and are hard to access if TV is wall mounted. On the other hand, on Samsung Q70D right side, the back of the TV is plastic with fine horizontal etching, and it feels solid overall without excessive flakes around the VESA holes or inputs. There are grooves on the back of the TV and the stand for cable management. Unfortunately, the inputs are recessed into the TV, so they are hard to reach if you wall mount it with a fixed bracket.
If you are new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Tech Gaming Villa, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater. You can check and subscribe.
If you see this True TV build quality, the Samsung Q80D's build quality is very good. There's flakes around the VESA holes and inputs on the back. The Samsung Q70D has a good build quality. On the other hand, the TV has an all plastic build that makes it feel a bit cheap, but it still feels pretty solid overall. The stand holds the TV well, and there's minimal wobbling when pushing or moving the TV. There are no major flaws with build quality and no issues with quality control. The Samsung Q80D QLED is better than the Samsung Q70D QLED, as it offers a noticeable upgrade in every way. The Q80D has a local dimming feature, giving it way better contrast than the Q70D. The Q80D is also brighter in HDR and SDR and has better color volume, so all content is more impactful on that model. If you see the Samsung Q80D, which is a very good general purpose TV, its standard features are its impressive HDR peak brightness combined with the TV's decent reflection handling. This makes the TV quite good in any bright room scenario, from watching TV shows or sports, using the TV as a PC monitor, or playing video game. It's also a great choice to watch HDR content in dark rooms due to its fantastic contrast and good HDR brightness. HDR content is impactful on this Q80D TV. For gamers, the TV has a 4K 120Hz support and incredibly low input lag, although its response time isn't quite good enough for a truly responsive gaming experience when playing fast-moving games. On the other hand, the Samsung Q70D is decent for mixed uses. It gets bright enough in HDR and has good enough reflection handling to use in a bright room, but its limited contrast ratio really limits its impact on the viewer in a dark room and holds back its HDR performance. Fortunately, it's a very good gaming TV due to its modern gaming features. On the other hand, its very narrow viewing angle makes it a poor choice for watching TV with a group of friends. If you see the Samsung Q80D, which is decent TV for watching shows in a bright room, it gets very bright in HDR and has decent reflection handling, so your shows will be clear even with some lights on. The TV also has good low-resolution upscaling, so older shows on DVDs or even shows on cable look good and crisp with minimal issues. Unfortunately, it has only okay low-resolution, low-quality content smoothing. So low bitrate content from streaming apps have some missing details and macro blocking in depth scenes. It's not the TV for you if you are hoping to host large TV show watch parties, as its viewing angle is disappointing. The image degrades that shapely when viewed at an angle. So the positive side of this TV is its excellent HDR peak brightness and decent reflection handling. But the downside of Q80D is its some uniformity issues and just alright low quality content smoothing, not impressive, and inadequate viewing angle. On the other hand, the Q70D is a decent TV for watching TV shows. It has an impressive HDR brightness and a satisfactory reflection handling. So you can use it in a well-lit room and won't be overly distracted by reflections on your screen. The TV does a good job upscaling low-resolution content, and its low-quality content smoothing is only alright, just like Q80D. But its low-quality content smoothing is not impressive like Q80D. So you do see artifacts in low bitrate content. Finding shows to watch is fast and easy thanks to the built-in title updating system. Unfortunately, its image quality degrades when viewed from the sides due to its very narrow viewing angle. So it's not a good choice for watching shows with a group of frames. The positive side of this TV is its very good pre-calibration HDR color accuracy and impressive HDR brightness on Q70D and good upscaling capabilities. But the downside of Q70D is its narrow viewing angle leads to a degraded image when viewed from the sides, and it struggles with reflections from direct light sources. But Q80D is decent for sports also. The TV's decent response time means that fast-moving objects like a puck in hockey are somewhat crisp, but there's still some noticeable bar behind fast-moving objects or players. If you watch a lot of sports and with large areas of bright uniform color like hockey, you will notice that the edges of the screen are darker than the center due to its only alright gray uniformity. And if you are hoping to get this TV to watch sports with friends, perhaps look elsewhere as its viewing angle just isn't good enough. On the other hand, the Samsung Q70D is decent for watching sports. It overcomes glare due to its impressive HDR brightness and satisfactory reflection handling. So it's suitable for watching NFL games on a bright Sunday afternoon. On the other hand, its very narrow viewing angle means that the image degrades just like Q80D, making it a poor option for watching the game with group of friends. The TV has only decent gray uniformity and noticeable blurry screen effect, which is a bit distracting when watching a sports like hockey that have a large areas of uniform color. Its response time is satisfactory, but you do see some blur behind fast-moving players and objects. For video games, the Q80D is great TV on which to play video games. It has a ton of gaming features, 120Hz support on all 4 HDMI ports, full VRR capability for a nearly cable-free gaming experience, and an extremely low input lag for a responsive gaming experience. Unfortunately, its response time is only decent, leading to some noticeable blur in fast-moving titles. Thankfully, its image quality is great with fantastic contrast and excellent HDR brightness and wide color gamut. So your games look vibrant on this TV. It even looks good in brighter rooms due to its brightness and decent reflection handling, although it will look even better if you turn off a few lights. On the other hand, the Samsung Q70D is very good for playing video games. It has incredibly low input lag for a responsive feel, but its response time is only satisfactory, so you do see some blur behind fast motion. The TV has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 4 ports for 4K 120Hz gaming with VRR, so it pairs excellently with modern consoles. There's no effect on image quality when the TV is set to game mode, so you can enjoy the best possible image while also getting the best possible performance out of the TV. It's also bright enough in HDR, and you can use it in a room with some lights on and not be distracted by reflections on the screen. For HDR movies, the Q80D is great for HDR movies and much better than Samsung Q70D. While its HDR brightness is good but not exceptional, it makes up for it with a fantastic contrast ratio and wide color gamut. HDR content looks pleasant and impactful on this TV. It also has perfect judder performance, which removes judder from all sources on Q80D, and excellent HDR gradient handling for a nearly banding-free viewing experience. It's even a great option for users who care about color accuracy, as its HDR accuracy is fantastic alongside excellent HDR pre-calibration accuracy. Its biggest flaw is its low quality content smoothing. So low bitrate content from streaming apps has some noticeable macro blocking in dark scenes. On the other hand, the Samsung Q70D is just alright for watching movies in a dark room for HDR, but not very impressive. Unfortunately, the TV is held back by its only adequate contrast, so blacks are pretty deep in dark scenes, but they become raised and grayish when bright highlights are also on screen since it lacks local dimming. Despite having good HDR brightness, highlights don't stand out too much due to its limited contrast. The TV does a good job upscaling low resolution content, but it's only okay low quality content smoothing, since you still see artifacts in low bitrate content. For HDR gaming, both TV is good, but Q80D is just better, and it's great for playing the latest AAA HDR titles. It supports 4K 120Hz, so games are played at their highest resolution possible, with full VRR support for a nearly tear-free gaming experience. The TV's HDR brightness is better in game mode than the filmmaker mode. So it offers a vibrant image when gaming. Even more so due to the TV's truly fantastic contrast ratio. Unfortunately, the TV's response time is only decent. So while it's good enough for a responsive gaming experience, you'll notice some blur behind fast-moving objects. On the other hand, the Samsung Q70D is very good for playing games in HDR. It has a good HDR brightness, meaning some highlights stand out in games, but due to its only adequate contrast, HDR game still lack impact. Fortunately, there's no decrease in HDR brightness when set to game mode, so you can get the best possible performance without having to see a dimmer image. If you want to use this Q80D and Q70D as a PC monitor, both are very capable TV when used as a PC monitor. Both TV has excellent HDR brightness and decent reflection handling, so it looks bright even in a bright office. The TV has incredibly low input lag, both Q80D and Q70D, so the mouse cursor flies on the screen almost as soon as you touch the mouse. But there is a slight blur trail behind it due to the TV's only decent response time. It has a full chroma 4:4:4 capabilities at all supported resolutions except 1440p 120Hz, and its BGM panel doesn't offer the best possible text clarity. It's still sharp enough that most people won't notice. Unfortunately, its viewing angle is inadequate. If you see the two TV's picture quality, the Samsung Q80D has much better picture quality and its contrast ratio is 80,000 plus. Even native contrast ratio of Q80D is 58:78:1. On the other hand, the native contrast ratio of Q70D is 6800:1. But when local dimming is on, the Q80D has much higher contrast ratio, almost I will say 13 times better contrast ratio on Q80D than Samsung Q70D. Q80D has fantastic contrast with local dimming on high. The TV's native contrast ratio is good, but its effective local dimming feature provides very deep blacks in a dark room, and they stay deep when bright highlights are also on the screen. On the other hand, the Q70D has adequate contrast. It has limited contrast ratio. Blacks are somewhat deep during purely dark scenes, but since it lacks local dimming, blacks become waste and grayish when brighter highlights are also on the screen. If you'd like better contrast than this model offers, look up the higher-end Samsung Q80D, QLED. The Q80D has only ordered blooming performance. Unfortunately, there's visible blooming around bright highlights or text when they are against black background, making blacks look less deep. On the other hand, Q70D, the TV doesn't have a local dimming feature, so there's no blooming around bright objects or subtitles during dub scenes. So the Q70D blooming performance is much better than the Q80D. On game mode, the Q80D, its local dimming performance is slightly worse overall with more noticeable blooming. But on Q70D, switching to game mode doesn't result in any noticeable difference in dark scenes performance. The Q80D has a good HDR brightness. While it's not bright enough to make bright highlights pop in complex scenes, it's still bright enough for highlights to stand out even when watched in brighter rooms, and it provides a pleasant HDR experience overall due to its fantastic contrast. The Samsung Q80D has fantastic PQ tracking as the TV follows the curve very closely until it reaches its maximum brightness. Still, it's not perfect as outside of some darker highlights, the TV is slightly over brightened across the entire length of the curve. The TV behaves erratically once it hits its peak brightness with all mastered content, but it still rolls off to preserve detail in very bright highlights. On the other hand, the Q70D has excellent PQ EOTF tracking, but it's not perfect. Blacks are displayed a bit brighter than intended, while midtones and highlights are displayed a bit darker than intended. Other than that, the TV follows the curve closely until there's a roll off near the TV's peak brightness to maintain details in highlights. With content mastered at 4000 nits, the roll off is even more gradual. The Q80D has excellent peak brightness in HDR and easily overcomes glare in a well-lit room. And Q70D also impressive in HDR and is bright enough to overcome glare in a well-lit room. If you see the two TV's color gamut, the Q80D has a very good HDR color gamut. It has a fantastic coverage of the commonly used DCI-P3 color space, so the vast majority of HDR content looks vibrant and pleasant to the eyes. Still, most colors are undersaturated and slightly off. Greens are too yellow and magentas are too red. The TV's coverage of the Recon 2020 color space is alright, but all colors are even more undersaturated, and the more saturated greens and cyans show noticeable color mapping issues. On the other hand, the Q70D has a good color gamut, but not like Q80D. It has excellent coverage of the commonly used PCI P3 color space, but all colors are undersaturated and inaccurate. The TV has a okay coverage of the less common Recon 2020 color space, but all colors are even more undersaturated and off the mark. We see the color volume. QTD has a great color volume. Colors are bright and vibrant, and dark saturated colors are displayed well due to its fantastic contrast. On the other hand, Q70D color volume is decent. It doesn't display darker colors well due to its only adequate contrast, and it doesn't display vibrant colors very brightly. If you see the pre-calibration of this 2TB, it is a bit better. It has excellent pre-calibration HDR accuracy. Blues and greens are slightly overrepresented in most shades of gray, and reds are underrepresented in midtones and pure whites. Overall, this leads to the TV's color temperature being slightly cooler than our 6500K target. Gamma is off our 2.2 target, with most scenes being a bit too bright, while bright scenes are significantly overbrightened. On the other hand, the Q70D has a very good pre-calibration HDR accuracy. Blues and greens are underrepresented in darker shades of gray, and reds are underrepresented in all grays. The color temperature is cooler than the 6500K, and the gamma is a bit of 2.2, with most scenes being displayed darker than they should be. Color accuracy is very good overall on Q70D, but saturated reds and magentas, lighter yellows and whites do have some noticeable inaccuracies. For post-calibration, this Q80D is easy to calibrate, and gamma, white balance and color temperature are all nearly perfect afterward. Color accuracy is much better now, but all colors are still a little bit of the mark, albeit barely. On the other hand, Q70D has a fantastic accuracy of calibration. After calibration, it's easy to calibrate. The color temperature is much closer to 6500K, and the white balance and gamma are now almost perfect. Color accuracy is better now, but there are still some minor inaccuracies with reds. We see the 2TV's gray uniformity. Q80D has an alright gray uniformity. The sides of the screen are quite a bit darker than the middle, and there's some dirty screen effect towards the center of the screen. Its uniformity on very dark or near black screens is excellent, but the left side is a bit brighter than the rest, and there's some barely noticeable clouding throughout. On the other hand, the Q70D has a decent gray uniformity. The sides of the screen are quite a bit darker than the middle, and there's noticeable dirty screen effect towards the center of the screen. On a very dark and near black screen, its uniformity is very good, but the corners and the bottom edges are a bit brighter than the rest of the screen. The Q80D has a good black uniformity overall, but there's noticeable dimming around bright highlights with local dimming enabled. With local dimming disabled, the screen is noticeably cloudy and bluish. On the other hand, the Q70D has a good black uniformity overall, but sections of the screen are noticeably bluish and cloudy. The Q80D HDR gradient handling is impressive, as there's minimal banding in all color bands except dark reds and blues, which have no noticeable banding. On the other hand, Q70D mediocre HDR gradient handling, there's some noticeable banding in almost all color gradients. Brighter reds fare better and have minimal banding. The upscaling is Q80D does a very good job at upscaling low resolution content, but it's better than Q70D. The Q80D uses a BGR sub-pixel layout instead of a traditional RGB layout. This doesn't cause any issues for video or gaming content, but it can be a problem for PC monitor use as it impacts the text clarity, although not everyone will notice this. The TV uses quantum dot color converts to produce red and green light, which can be seen in the spectral power distribution. On the other hand, Q70D uses a BGR sub-pixel layout just like Q80D instead of the traditional RGB layout. This doesn't cause any issues for video or gaming content, just like Q80D. If you see the motion performance, they are pretty same. Q80D has a satisfactory response time. Fast motion has a noticeable bar behind it, and it's slower when coming out of dark states. So there's some black smearing in dark scenes transitions. And Q70D also has a satisfactory response time. The Q80D optional motion interpolation feature to improve the clarity of motion, but it doesn't work very well. Even slower moving scenes have some noticeable artifacts and hallowing present. In faster moving scenes, it can't keep up, and there are distracting artifacts and hallowing, and sometimes the TV stops interpolating altogether, just like Q70D. Both TV is grouped on strata due to the TV's slower response time. there's very little noticeable stutter when watching 24p content. But Q80D is much better. This TV automatically removes judder from all sources when watching movies or shows that are in 24p, even if they are in 60 Hz signal, like from a cable box. But Q70D is much poor. It automatically removes judder from the native apps, but unfortunately, it doesn't remove judder from any external sources. And finally, I want to say the Samsung Q80D has an alright frequency response. It does produce more bass than what usually hear from the TV speaker, but it comes at the cost of audible output frequency deviations when the TV is at max volume, so it doesn't sound quite right when you crank it up. There are also noticeable compression artifacts at moderate listening levels. The TV sound profile is clear, making dialogue easy to understand. This TV uses 40-watt speaker. On the other hand, Q70 uses 20-watt speaker. The Q70D TV's frequency response is subpar. Like most TVs, bass is pretty much non-existent. The sound is well balanced at moderate listening levels, so the dialogue is clear, but it sounds progressively unbalanced as the volume increases. Since the TV doesn't get very loud, it's best suited for a quiet environment. So if you judge this true TV, the Q80D has full array local dimming features. That's why it's impressive image quality. Thanks to the full array local dimming, this technology allows for precise control of the backlight, which results in deeper blacks and higher contrast. Stars in the night sky look very clear and don't have a shimmer around them. For example, with 4K resolution and 120 Hz, the Q80D displays razor sharp and smooth images. This is ideal for fast action scenes and sports broadcasts. The combination of these features ensures an intense and immersive viewing experience. On the other hand, the Q70D also has a good image quality, but with HD viewing, this technology only lights up the edges of the screen, which produces less precise blacks and lower contrast. Still, the Q70D ensures clear and smooth images thanks to the 4K resolution and 100 Hz refresh rate. The Q70D delivers a solid performance for everyday TV and streaming, even if the image depth and contrast don't quite keep up with the TV. Finally, I want to say, feeling like an exciting movie night, or would you rather watch some impressive movies thanks to the 120 Hz refresh rate and full array local dimming of Q80D, which is great for this. Dolby Atmos technology also creates an impressive sound environment that improves the TV experience even more. So, are high contrast and great sound not that important to you? The Samsung Q70D provides a great image quality for regular TV and streaming with the HD viewing. Even though it has 20-watt speaker, it has a great audio quality even without Dolby Atmos. But Q80D has much superior TV for sound performance or picture quality. So what's your thought about this two TV? Which TV you buy, Samsung Q80D or Q70D? If you ask me, I will definitely choose Samsung Q80D. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. That's it from now.